right a little later the same night, between Claire and Jimmy, who were now in Claire's bed. In spite of the heavy warmth of the night, I began to feel chilled and heavy, as though I were slowly ossifying, and only then realized how tired I was. The camp hadn't gone to sleep entirely. There was still talk around the fires, and the occasional rasp of a scythe or a sword blade sharpened, but the volume had dropped. The atmosphere had settled with the sinking of the moon, even those souls most excited at the prospect of imminent battle succumbing to sleep. "Come and lie down," I said softly to Jamie, and rose from my seat with a muffled groan. "It won't be for long, but you need some rest, and so do I." "All right, but I cannot be under canvas," he said, low-voiced, following me. "I'll feel half smothered. Couldn't breathe in a tent." "Oh, plenty of room outside," I said, nobly suppressing a twinge at thought of sleeping on the ground. Fetching a couple of blankets, I followed him, yawning, a little way along the river bank, until we found a private spot behind the scrim of willows that dragged their leaves in the water. In fact, it was surprisingly comfortable. There was a thick growth of springy grass on which to spread the blankets, and so close to the water, the air was at least moving, cool on my skin. I shuffled out of my petticoats and took my stays completely off, the blissful shiver of relief as the coolness stirred gently through my damp shift. Jamie stripped to his shirt and was rubbing his face and legs with mosquito ointment, the presence of hordes of these insects accounting for the lack of company near the water. I sat down beside him and helped myself to a small scoop of the mint-smelling grease. Mosquitoes seldom bit me, but that didn't stop them whining past my ears and poking inquisitively into my mouth and nostrils, which I found disconcerting in the extreme. I lay back, watching as he finished his more thorough anointing. I could feel the distant approach of morning, but longed all the more for whatever brief oblivion I could get before the sun rose and all hell broke loose. Jamie closed the tin and stretched out beside me with a low groan, black leaf shadows trembling over the paleness of his shirt. I rolled toward him just as he rolled toward me. We met with a blind and groping kiss, smiling against each other's mouth, wriggling and squirming to find a good way of lying together. Warm as it was, I wanted to be touching him. He wanted to be touching me, too. "Really?" I said, astonished. "How could you possibly? You've been out for hours." "No, only the last minute or two," he assured me. "I'm sorry," says I. "I can you're tired, and I wouldn't ask, but I'm desperate." He let go of my wallet long enough to pull up his shirt, and I rather resignedly started disentangling my shift from my legs. "I don't mind if you fall asleep. I'll know about my business," he said in my ear, feeling his way one-handed. "It won't take long about it. The mosquitoes will bite your arse," I said, wiggling my own arse into a better position and opening my legs. "And then I split them." Oh, he said, sounding pleased. "Well, it's all right if you want to stay awake, of course." I pitched his butt off hard, and he gave a small yelp, laughed, and licked my ear. The fit was a bit dry, and he fumbled for the tin of mosquito ointment. "Are you sure?" I began dubiously. "Oh!" He was already applying the half-liquid ointment with more enthusiasm than dexterity. The fact of his enthusiasm was more arousing than skill might have been. Having a small amount of oil of peppermint vigorously applied to one's private parts was a rather novel sensation, too. "Make that noise again," he said, breathing heavily in my ear. "I like it." "Oh, God. Oh, God." He was right. It didn't take long. He lay half on and half off me, panting, his heart beating slow and hard against my breast. I had my legs wrapped around him. I could feel the flutter of tiny insects on my ankles and bare feet as they squirmed, avid for his unprotected bare flesh. I didn't mean to let him go. I squeezed close, rocking gently, slippery and tingling, and I didn't take long either. "Shall I tell you something?" I said, after a bit of mint-scented heavy breathing. "The mosquitoes won't bite your cock." "I didn't mind if they carry me off to their lair to feed to their bairns," he murmured. "And here's Cecily." I pushed sweaty hair out of my face and settled contentedly in the hollow of his shoulder, his arm around me. By now I had reached that sense of accommodation with the humid atmosphere, where I stopped trying to keep track of my own body's boundaries and simply melted into sleep. I slept without dreaming and without moving, until a touch of cramp roused me enough to shift a little. Jamie raised his arm a little, then replaced it as I settled again, and I became aware that he wasn't asleep. "You're all right?" I murmured, thick tongues of drowsiness. "I'm fine," he whispered, and his hand smoothed the hair from my cheek. "Go back to sleep, Cecily. I'll wake you when it's time." My mouth was sticky, and it took a moment to locate any words. "You need to sleep, too." "No," he said, soft but definite. "No, I don't need to sleep. So close to the battle, I have dreams. I've had them the last 3 nights, and they get worse." My own arm was lying across his midsection. At this, I reached up involuntarily, putting my hand over his heart. I knew he dreamed, and I had a very good idea what he dreamed about from the things he'd said in his sleep, and the way he'd wakened, trembling. "They get worse," he said, and bent his head to kiss my hair. "Don't affection me. I want only to lie here with you in my arms. keep you safe.